Torture. That is Jamie Kern Lima's podcast with Meghan Markle. It is absolutely torture. And this is part 2. So I did part 1, which I released yesterday, which I will link up above and down below if you are interested in watching that. This might get into some more juicy stuff, but guys, the first half of this podcast was nothing. It was nothing, just obscenely wealthy women talking about how you can just flit off to New York if you want to see a Broadway play. I mean, that's what normal people do, right? Right? No, goodness gracious is me. It was horrifically awful. Horrifically awful. Neither one of them are as interesting as they think they are. It was sort of filled with meaningless platitudes to each other, mostly to Meghan, about how wonderful and amazing she is, what a great friend she is, how much she wants to give joy and everything. Well, ladies, I did not feel the joy. I felt like this was one of the most horrifically awful things to get through that I've ever done. It was terrible. I was just praying that would be over because it was so bad. It was so incredibly bad. And so I had to split it up into 2 because my first video was getting way too long. So I have not watched this yet. And so if you want to come on this torturous journey with me, feel free to stick around. But if you haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I provide compelling royal commentary. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would love to have you back. We'll probably do something else for Catherine and William's anniversary, or maybe even I'll get this up early on April 29th or even maybe very late on April 28th and what have you. We shall see. But this was torture. The first round, I don't think the second round is going to be any better. So let's not put it off any longer. Let's get into it. So we left off on why Harry and Meghan call each other H&M, the store.
Probably at the beginning of us dating when everything was in code.
Code, yeah.
Like, people didn't know we were dating for, talk about memory lane, so long ago. I mean,
I'm sure she knows exactly. But that actually does kind of make a little bit more sense. It does. But I mean, who would know who Meghan is? Who would know who Harry is? Nobody would know. Like, this idea that everybody would know. Nobody knew who she was. So, like, who is she talking in code to? Because she live streamed her engagement to her friend. So that just doesn't totally track either.
Our 7-year wedding anniversary soon. I couldn't tell anyone who I was dating, and he was keeping. So I think we were just on a letter basis.
Yeah.
And then it stuck.
It's stuck.
It stuck.
Yeah. And still to this day.
Yeah. I like.
Still think it's really lame.
Yeah. Well, I'll be on a play date, or we'll be somewhere. There'll be tons of people there, and he'll say M, and you'll say H, and your friends say M, and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it? Like, it's just natural.
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
Because she doesn't want to definitely be known that her husband and her children are princes and a princess, and she is not.
I love nicknames.
You are such a big proponent of women, of female founders.
Yes.
For my birthday, you shared this incredible handbag by this amazing company.
Oh, the company that exploits women in Rwanda to make their bags really cheap for them and pays them pennies for it. Yeah, that organization. Yeah, Jamie shows how much you know. Also, as well, Meghan doesn't uplift women. She undermined her own female staff members. In fact, I believe it was Jason Knaft who would say that Meghan Markle always had to have somebody, specifically a woman, in her sights at any time to try to demean her. So Meghan doesn't uplift women. She undermines them. I mean, she attacked her sister-in-law. Let's be honest here. She made Kate cry. So how loving is Meghan? Not that much towards women.
You recently wore a Valencia key bracelet, and holy moly, her business, she shared her business exploded. She had an 11,000% increase in sales.
Well, how much was it before? I don't know. Who cares?
Like, for weeks straight, everything sold out.
I'm so glad.
So,
this is why Meghan created a shop my, which, by the reminder, I have a shop my now because anybody can have one, because Meghan Markle wants to make her fashion pay her, because that's the most important thing. But if you want to support what Royal News Network does, and you want to alleviate some of my torture here, you can check out my shop my. I'm going to be it's for royal fashion news technically, but we'll be putting up things I like to use, like beauty and style and stuff, but also pretty much all the royals. So there'll be a tab for Catherine. I have the Dutch royals, the Danish royals up right now. And so I will be putting things into it. And then I'll have a tab of like royally inspired. So something that is like what they've worn, but is a bit on the cheaper end.
There's this thing known as the Meghan Effect.
Yeah.
How does
I feel like Meghan is the only one who ever uses the Meghan Effect. I really feel like that's the case.
that make you feel?
It makes me feel really great when specifically it can help uplift brands that have a great ethos and female founders and
makes her money. Again, it's all about making Meghan money. Meghan wants money.
Yeah.
You know, there was a long time where I wasn't out talking. So if you
Yeah.
couldn't hear me, how could
We didn't care. We were perfectly fine not hearing you. This idea that we're all like clamoring to hear from Meghan Markle is ridiculous. And if you don't know as well, guys, I stop about every 15 seconds or more for copyright reasons.
I be heard through what I was wearing if that's what people were focusing on,
Hmm.
or the choices I was making that you didn't have to say a word, but it would move product for small companies or allow, you know, even when we were living in the UK, small company in Scotland able to, you know, I don't
Because again, she wants to make money. She wants to the best of her ability to make money. And this company was maybe something that the other royal ladies were moving towards too and could sell even more than she does.
know, hire 50 more employees or
Yeah.
small
She definitely cares about how what she wore made other people money, except it didn't make her money.
businesses who would take women out of positions of being trafficked and instead give them jobs. And by wearing those jeans, I knew
Mm.
it was going to allow them to save more women. So all of those things end up becoming a touch point that's really, really high value to me. And then being able to hear the stories of how it has helped them or their businesses and even just
Because she's really hoping at some point it helps her in her business. Again, I think everything has a selfish motivation when it comes to Meghan Markle.
it could have been the day that they were going to give up.
Mhm.
Could have been the day that they're just going, why am I doing this? It's not worth
Mhm.
it. And if I can come in with a little sprinkle of fairy dust just by wearing a bracelet or doing something and that changes the course of their business, that's a huge honor to be
She really thinks very highly of herself. She thinks very, very highly of herself.
able to have that kind of impact for someone.
Yeah.
Someone that most of the time I won't even know.
Yeah. I never ever realized that during seasons where maybe you felt like you couldn't use your voice, that was
What is this obsession with using her voice? Maybe she doesn't have anything good to say. She doesn't have anything good to say. This is all vacuous nonsense. Like the first part of this podcast was torture because nothing was said. Like they don't say anything. They just throw platitudes at each other. It's obnoxious.
that was a way to use your voice.
Yeah, to
Huh.
still be heard and and in that allow other people's voices to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really that's always meant something to me. And then, you know, because I love
And then, but she was frustrated by that too, because it wasn't helping her bottom line. It was helping somebody else's, and she couldn't monetize that the way she can now with her Shop My.
handwritten note when I would end up getting handwritten notes from people from all over the world saying what it's done for their business. Because again, if I'm not reading press, even back then,
Yeah.
someone would say, like, oh yeah, that sold out, but you had no metrics for it. What was helpful is a letter would get to me. I'm very sentimental, so I have most of
Because she's looking at this going, Harry, how can we make this money? Like, again, I feel like she's so excited about this, but more because, oh my gosh, my stuff sells out. Like, why am I not getting a kickback from it? I would not be surprised if she reached out to somebody going, well, if you give me a little kickback from something, I'll wear more of it. Would not be surprised.
them saved. Just like, wow, how it really changed their lives. That to me, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. I know you were raised in
Because she wants
California,
actual gold.
and
Sorry. She wants actual gold. That is her true motivation here. So
It's worth its weight in gold.
yeah, I know you were raised in California,
Yeah.
and you've now lived in a few different parts of California. What are your favorite parts of California?
this is a stupid question. This is a dumb question. Oh my gosh, this is a horrible interview. And guys, I have this on 1.5 speed. Let me double check and make sure. Yes, it's slow and tedious. Can you imagine how slow they're actually talking?
Oh, I should be a California tourism ad because I love this state so much. I used to watch those Visit California commercials. And I remember when I started auditioning, I was like, I just want to be in a Visit California commercial. I just want to like be there talking about how great this state is.
Okay, whatever.
I just love that within 2 hours you can have access to snow or beach or desert. I love the diversity of it. We have an amazing food scene.
Also, obscenely high prices for gas, food, electricity, everything, insurance. Some people can't even get insurance, and horrible crime in some areas. So, California might seem a little bit beautiful, but it's also a little bit of a hellhole, too.
I feel really, really lucky to have been born here. I love just being able to connect to outside and outdoors and being able to hike. And I think there's something really powerful about being connected to nature and the elements. Even if you don't go to the beach, just seeing the water, I think is
So, Catherine just did a whole thing recently about Mother Nature and how nature has been so critical to her in her cancer recovery journey. And Megan's talking about nature too. Really? Really?
really powerful. So I like the openness that it brings.
It's so funny. My best friend Jackie and you are both the best hikers. And
Oh my God.
Best hiker. How can you be the best hiker? Hiking is hiking, for Pete's sakes. It's not that hard.
We went on the hike.
the time I
Wait,
went on
what?
a hike with you, I'm like, so can you slow down? Like,
No,
I'm like,
no, the best was like, we're going on a hike, like a hike.
Kelly, this is so boring. This is so boring.
And Jamie gets out of the car. She's like, yeah. And you have your little to-go coffee
My
cup.
to-go coffee.
I was like, "Oh, do you want to put that in the car? You're ready to go hiking." And I remember you said like, oh, when someone said hiking, you're just walking around a reservoir or something.
I thought so. I've gone hiking with friends and we just
So their hiking is two different things. So how much time do they really spend together? Probably not that much.
and it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like a roundabout. We go and I'm like, I have my to-go coffee. And my rosacea is red right now with no makeup on. But by the time you and I got to the top,
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
You did great.
oh my gosh.
You did great.
Well, then you should explain what you mean by hiking if you have two different definitions. That's like a good thing to clarify.
Yeah, you were so patient. And then I feel it's so funny. It reminded me of my best friend Jackie of 25 years. I was a waitress at Denny's. She was a waitress across the street at a steakhouse. And she's like you.
Meghan just does not care. Okay, let's see if we can get it back here.
Oh, when someone said hiking, you're just walking around a reservoir or something.
I thought so. I've gone hiking with friends and and it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like a roundabout. We go and I'm like, I have my to-go coffee. And my rosacea is red right now with no makeup on. But by the time you and I got to the top,
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
You did great.
oh my gosh.
You did great.
Yeah, you were so patient. And then I feel it's so funny. It reminded me of my best friend Jackie of 25 years. I was a waitress at Denny's. She was a waitress across the street
Okay, Meghan looks like she does not care at all about this dumb story.
at a steakhouse. And
I can feel the void of Meghan. Oh, I have to listen to her talk about herself and her friend. I want to talk about me. Where's me?
she's like you. We'll go hiking, and she can do it twice.
Ooh.
In the time I do it once,
Oh,
and she's
okay.
not even sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm like drenched in sweat.
You're glistening. You're just
I'm
glistening.
glistening.
Okay, whatever. Oh, I got him to be bigger and more appropriate. Okay. I don't know how I did that, but okay.
I'm glowing.
Glowing. She was,
I'm
yeah, she was all
glowing.
blown up.
Do not care, guys. This is so bad. This is such a bad interview. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. I wish we could have like real big girl interviews instead of this vacuous nonsense.
You know what I want to do? I want to go to Denny's with you and show you my favorite things that I ate when
The
I
Grand
was
Slam
there.
breakfast.
All of it, and I'll drizzle fancy syrup on it.
Meghan is not going to do that. There's no way in heck Meghan is ever going to do that.
Okay, for you, I will do that. You have so many amazing big wins right now, things you've been working so hard on, and
A flopping podcast, a company that's barely off the ground, has no clue about longevity yet. No clue. Things that have sold out at once also crash and burn, guys.
your husband just shared publicly for the first time. He said, "I'm so happy for my wife and fully support absolutely everything she's done and continues to do."
When did he say?
So, yeah, I'm sure because that's what he has to do. He has to lift her up all the time. She doesn't say anything about him. And not to mention the fact she's a breadwinner now. He's given up on having any sort of career.
that?
This week, it's everywhere in the press. Yeah, it's beautiful. But how does it? So okay, so you don't know this. Okay, so you're hearing this for the first time.
That's sweet.
As if she doesn't know. Oh, give me a break. Harry does not talk to the press at all without her explicit permission, I'm sure.
I love that you're hearing this for the first time. He says, "I'm so happy for my wife and fully supportive, and support absolutely everything she's done
Oh gosh, they have to listen to it again
and continues to do." How does that make you feel?
Oh, he's such a great partner.
because he lifts her up. He like gives her endless praise. That's all she cares about. If he didn't, he would be gone.
I feel that, right? I feel that every day in how supportive he's been.
What else is he going to do? He has to do that. Otherwise, his life would be utter misery even more than it is now.
But I didn't know he said that. So that's really nice because
You honestly don't feel like she actually feels that. But she probably wrote it for him to give to the press.
think having a partner, I mean, I asked you this when you were on my podcast, like, do you think that you would have been able to get through all the no's and the challenges if you were
What challenges did she have? That she was stupid enough to start a brand and give it a name that she couldn't trademark and then looked like a fool for promoting it and having friends promote it only for it to crash and burn? That's just stupidity. That's not hardship. That's just dumb, Meghan Markle. Just saying.
doing it solo if you didn't have the support of Apollo? And there's something that is
She has millions of dollars. Meghan's connection to the average entrepreneur is nothing because she has no. It's actually even Mark Cuban. He was very big about this, is that sometimes he wouldn't give money to people. I mean, I don't remember explicitly, but he was hesitant to really invest in people who had a huge safety net because in his mind, they have no drive to succeed. That's Meghan. She has no drive to succeed. She has a huge safety net. So she's not there grinding like the average entrepreneur because there is a huge safety net for her. So I don't really have a safety net. I'm just me. So I have to grind every day. Sometimes when I don't want to. Sometimes when I'd rather do something else because that is the actual life of an entrepreneur. Meghan Markle is a entrepreneur. She's cosplay acting this as well, in addition to cosplaying royalty.
Not to be taken for granted when you have a partner and a spouse who is just so behind you. You know, I mean, that man loves me so much.
That man loves me so much because she forces him to. Like, he would be like, the marriage would not survive if he did not love her endlessly as much as she needed to be loved. There's no positive dynamic here.
And, you know, look what we built. We've built a beautiful life and we have 2 healthy, beautiful children. And, you know, and
Does she love him? I believe she just said, he loves me so much. Where's her love to him? It's all about our beautiful life and our beautiful kids. What about her love for him?
I always think about it like the end of Super Mario Brothers when you get to the final level. And what's the goal in Super Mario? They're like, slay the dragon, save the princess. I'm like, that's my husband. He's
Because you've created this false sense of this desperate need for security for him, which is driving him insane because he can't get what he wants. And so she's made him miserable trying to get this, trying to slay the dragon when there is no dragon to slay. No wonder he says he's slaying dragons because Meghan Markle has told him that. Told him, oh, honey, you're slaying the dragons for me, even though he's probably going to lose them millions of dollars in attorney fees for something he won't win.
just out there just constant. Like he's just going to do whatever he can to make sure that our family is safe and protected.
What about her reciprocating to him? There's no reciprocation here. It's all about what he does for me, what he does for the kids. It's like not what she does for him, not how she supports him. She's not defining any of that here.
And we're uplifted and still make time for date nights.
Are you in love now more than ever, more than you've ever been?
She doesn't talk about love with him, though. Jamie should have asked, what do you do for him? What do you do for him? Not what he does for you. We've heard that endlessly. What do you do for him?
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine at the beginning, everyone is like butterflies. And then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, like 6 months into dating. So now 7 years later,
And it's made their public relationship with the world very toxic. That trench mentality destroyed their public image. That was a very dumb move on their part.
you have a little bit of breathing space. You can just enjoy each other in a new way. And that's why I feel like it's more of a honeymoon period for us now.
Do you think
I doubt that. And the more, because I think Harry mentioned that, or somebody mentioned that in another article too. I feel like I've heard that a couple of times now. The more they say it, the less I believe it.
you'll be married forever?
Yes.
So she didn't say she'll be married forever. Do you think he'll be married forever? Which is a dumb question. But yeah, no, she won't. I imagine either Meghan will find somebody better, somebody wealthier, somebody who can give her more of what she wants than Harry can, or Harry is going to get sick of her and want an out. That's what's going to happen.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very.
Meghan, nobody believes that anymore. He's like a balding dude. He's not that pretty. Stop like talking about him being a fox. Those days ended a long time ago. And now even because he's so henpecked, he is no longer attractive. He's a beta male. No woman wants that.
Very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Do you love him though? Never said you loved him. Never said she loved him or supports him or does anything for him. It's all about how he makes her feel.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now.
Oh,
Because she loves me. It's all Meghan about Meghan.
you have a letter from him?
I have a letter from your husband and your kids.
Oh,
It's actually from them.
was this in the press also?
Via
No,
him.
did this?
Oh, this is so stupid. This is so insanely stupid.
No one's ever seen this before.
Okay.
And I would love to share it with you.
This is so dumb.
And if you feel comfortable,
Is this from this
you
morning?
share it with all of us.
Oh. From Archie and Lily via Papa.
Oh, for Pete's sakes.
We love your cooking. We love your pancakes. And we love, love, love your hugs. You're the best mummy and we love you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, like this is so nothing. And it's all things to promote her brand. We love your cooking because she has a cooking show. We love your pancakes because she made pancakes once or waffles or whatever and can put her little drizzle on it. It's just so needlessly self-indulgent.
So sweet. I also love that it's mummy, just very British instead of mommy.
British.
No.
That's all they wrote? Really? That's all they wrote? That's lame. That's lame.
Oh, yeah, they're the greatest.
When we so it's kind of fun reading that to you about just how much he supports you and how proud he is with everything he's doing with Invictus
Oh gosh, that was so dumb. I was really expecting more than that. That was really lame.
Games and all the projects he's so passionate about. What are the best ways that you support him that
That's a big question.
he needs with all this?
I think a lot of it is being a soundboard, especially because I don't read media or press.
Yeah.
I'm a good barometer of just sometimes maybe just a very removed point of view because I'm
No, she's a terrible barometer. She's a terrible barometer. That's terrible. You actually need somebody who's a little bit more aware of things because no wonder things are going so poorly for them.
only looking at it through the lens of loving him.
Yeah.
What's in his best and highest good? What's in the best interest for us as a family? What will help
Best interest in us as a family. I mean, I know family aspects is part of that, but I really feel like she's not really answering the question here.
nurture him and help him find balance?
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, I can hear it through a different lens because my opinion isn't colored by anything.
Yeah.
It's colored by her own self-interest. It's entirely covered by Meghan's interest in Meghan. That's always going to be the advice she gives is Meghan's interest in Meghan.
Other than what I know from him and what I can see for our future. So,
And there's something to the effect too of being so siloed that you can't see the bigger picture. And she can't see the bigger picture because she can't accept the criticism. She can't have the bad news hit her. And so because of that, there's nothing she can really add, I think, of depth because she can't see the truth of herself. So yeah, this is sort of pointless.
I really love making him breakfast before I left. I told you Archie's homesick today. So I made him lemon, ginger, manuka honey tea, and he just really wanted bacon. So I made a lot of bacon, and then I made egg Asian.
That's like all she does for him is cook. Maybe, allegedly. So that's the only way she shows she cares is by making him breakfast. No, I get it. I get it. That can be part of a relationship for sure. I 100% get that. But again, we just see everything through the lens of Meghan serving Meghan.
breakfast sandwich with a fried egg and good 2 slices of American cheese, all melty and lots of bacon in there. And
Nice. You and I in the rocking chairs
yes,
have talked a lot about, like mother figures in our lives and our mothers and family.
Well, her mother wasn't around a lot when she was a child, from our understanding, not to mention the fact that she completely has ignored other mothers in her husband's life. So,
When Lily grows up, what are your hopes that she would share and say about her mother?
oh,
what about Archie? Why is it always about Lily? Poor Archie. Like, he doesn't look like he matters at all.
what a great question. Um,
Gosh, this is so
I
long.
hope she says, I know that they'll feel like, oh my gosh, no one has ever loved someone more than the way our mom loved us.
It's a very selfish view, in my opinion. And like, I know moms probably love their children more than anybody else, but the way she phrases it, I don't know, to me comes off of it's so important that they love me and they know I have loved them, that it very much again is feeding herself rather than feeding other people. And I find it kind of sad.
Um, and I put that in practice. That's part of every day how I show up for them. And I read a lot of parenting books. I really want to be good at it. I think a lot of
I think she's a terrible parent, to be honest. I don't think she's very maternal. And she could have actually learned a lot from her in-laws. Catherine and William and Zara and Mike have older children than she does. And then you have Peter as well. They could have been helpful to her because sometimes, yes, parenting books are helpful, but sometimes it's better too to have people who are close to you who you can learn from. And Meghan, she doesn't really want to learn from anybody. So I don't have high hopes for the future of our children.
stuff comes naturally, and a lot of stuff we can all use tools. But one of our mom friends, she had said to me last year that she just created sort of secret email addresses for her kids that she'll give to them at some point in their life, and she would just
I mean, I get that. I think that's a good idea, but also I think there's something to be said for having something physical because if you put it in digital, what if somebody loses the password or what if it goes away? Like, who knows?
send to them, random pictures, the pictures that you aren't going to put in a frame.
Yeah.
I thought it was such a great time capsule to create for them because I still have scrapbooks and photo albums, but we're past that generation now.
But we still should do that a bit more because there's something in digital, like digital is awesome. I have so many pictures and everything for the work that I do, but I always worry about what happens if my computer dies or something and I lose all those pictures. They're gone forever. So I feel like you should do both.
And so I created for the kids these email addresses that sort of like names again that you would never guess that I will give them at some point in their lives when they're older. But before I go to bed almost every night, I email them.
And probably says all things about her, telling them all about Meghan, because Meghan is about Meghan.
Wow.
I email because it doesn't have to be a heavy lift. And you email them like, here's a report card from today. Oh my gosh, you did the funniest thing this morning. Or here's a picture of you two having breakfast. Or here's you playing with the things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal. But
I mean, if you put it to your email, you probably were going to put it to pen to paper too.
they will end up at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18, that I say, here's an email that I've been keeping for you
I have full body chills right now.
for your whole life. And here's everything and every moment that I wanted to tell you how much I love you and like how
much I love you. But what about their dad too? What does their dad do? Again, it's from a mom's perspective. I get it, but it just always for Meghan, everything seems so much about herself.
proud I am of you. And of all things to make me emotional, for them to be able to look back and go, oh my,
She's looking into the lights. There's actually, I can't, oh, it's Psych. And the thing that actually, one of the things is an episode, and they're actually at this telenovela or something. It's a funny, kind of goofy show. And at some point, the dad who teaches his son how to figure out when people are lying and stuff, one of the things he says is they look into the lights to make their eyes water. She's looking into the lights to sort of make her eyes water because she doesn't really have any tears.
my gosh, she has loved us so much.
It's all about them knowing that she loved them. Like, what about them loving her? What about her and her husband knowing that they love them together? It's a very much, again, all about Meghan's selfish desires here, in my opinion. That's what I see.
And that's, I think, the best part about being a mom. And we go back to like a love
There's
language
no
or
tears in her eyes. There's no tears.
gifts. It's not about the grandeur of a gesture. It's about I see you.
Mm.
It is sometimes about the grandeur of the gesture, and Meghan's grandeurs are sometimes over the top, ridiculous.
I'm nurturing you and I see you so deeply. And I love being able to see your growth and just
Like, I just need to see you.
so proud of them.
Okay, so interesting thing here is that she says, I want them to know that I see them. But Meghan also talked about that with random people on the street. So isn't it more not that I just see them? What about something deeper than that? Because Meghan, you do the see them routine to the average person on the street. Shouldn't your children be worth more than that? Just saying.
So beautiful.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, they're just the great. They're just,
Little lame. You just gotta say.
it's just so great. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
Right?
Thank you. It's the greatest gift you can give. That's the gift that will cost you nothing and it will mean everything to your children. You do for
Well, Meghan has a lot of gifts that she's given herself or Harry has given her in terms of jewelry. So Meghan obviously does put some price tag on things.
your partner too. Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
No,
Gosh, for Pete's sake, guys.
you should do it for the kids.
Yeah, I'm having these like aha moments right now, thinking about doing that, and also about how many people are going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Start doing that because that's so beautiful. And I think about like the closest person to me in my entire life is my mom who adopted me. And when she passed away, like the things she said to me toward the end, when she was basically like,
Yeah. I mean, feeling for her, that's for sure. But I also that we're all getting chills. No, we're not.
whatever you do in life, don't change. It'd be so
Aw.
sad if you changed. And I'm like, I thought she was always going to say to me like, you can do anything and you can,
Right.
and she's like, basically what she was saying is who you are is enough. Like I felt
I mean, that's a good thing to share. That's a good thing to share.
like seen and loved. And I'm thinking about your sweet kids when they get that email and they just read it and that's there forever. Like that is the most beautiful.
It's time capsule. All the things. I know. I do
And
a
it's
lot.
your heart every day that
It'll be interesting to see if that really comes to pass or not.
you're giving to them in that way.
Yeah,
Like, it's your, like,
So if Megan's doing all this, then how is she working? Because sometimes this stuff happens because you doesn't happen because you're working so hard. You can't do something like this. Just interesting.
And it becomes meditative for me too, but also like I do a lot of voice notes of the kids. So I'll just have my phone on as I'm putting them down to bed because their voices are going to change so much. So it's like they went through that stage where they were so little
I mean, most parents do this. None of this is groundbreaking.
and they would go, Mama, can I hold you? Because they didn't know it was like, Mama, can you hold me? And I knew one day it would change, but I have it. So I send them those voices like, here you are at 2 saying this. Here's you singing a lullaby tonight.
Like,
I mean, that's very cute. That's very cute. But it's all just like, can we get to something that's actually interesting?
you got the voice note and then you emailed it.
yes. It doesn't have to be a video. It doesn't have to be something. It's just you're capturing these moments, these tender moments that are going to go by like this. And also I find that when I do it, like, one of the things with parenting,
Oh gosh, I'm so bored.
you watch as they're building their confidence and their self-esteem, a word that I use a lot
I mean, is she building Archie's confidence and self-esteem? Just doesn't really think so. It doesn't really seem so because she seems, again, very focused on Lily.
with them is yet. and how to reframe things for a kid. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it yet. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough yet.
I mean, it depends though. I think there's something to, yes, encouraging children where it's good, but there's some things like if you want to be a gymnast, most of them are sort of on the shorter side. If your kid's going to be 5'11", they're probably not going to really be a gymnast. So it's sort of about fitting the aptitude to the child. So if they're musically inclined, put them in a music class. If they, like me, are not competitive at all, I'm probably not going to do well in a competitive sport. So probably not best to put me on there. So I think there's something to, yes, making sure children know that there's an opportunity ahead of them, that they might be able to do something, but also at the same time, maybe that's not going to be your skill set. And that's perfectly fine too.
And the more that you put into practice these ideas of like, put yet at the end of nearly every sentence, and you feel like there's still hope and a promise that you can do it.
Yes.
But when I type that to my children before I go to bed, guess what? Like, I'm teaching that to them, or I'm reinforcing that.
Oh gosh. I mean, I really I'd be curious really if she's doing this every night.
But I'm also reinforcing it for myself.
Yes.
Like, I don't know yet. I'm not sure.
I'm just going to say that applies to every adult. That applies to me right now, all of us.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Like, this is so tedious to get through.
Yet.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
My business hasn't gotten traction yet. No one's picked up my book proposal yet.
But maybe they won't ever. I think there's something to being like a realist. So when I started, can't talk. When I started my first YouTube channel, which was a fashion channel, which I have pulled down completely, so you can never find it. But I tried a couple of videos and it got zero traction. And I pulled it down because I didn't want to waste my time on something that was not successful. So I think it's actually sort of it's sort of that positive thinking thing, which I think can be detrimental because you can think, "Oh, I will get the book deal. I haven't gotten it yet, but I will get it at some point." What if you never get it? What if you waste years, if not decades of your life waiting for something to happen and it never ever happens? And you wasted time, you wasted money, you lost opportunities that could have been much better for you because you were so wishing and waiting on something to happen that hasn't happened yet, but will happen. It's kind of like being an actor, like somebody who's grinding for decades in Hollywood and barely gets anything other than bit parts. Maybe you could have been a millionaire, not by being a Hollywood actor, but maybe by starting a business, maybe by being a smart investor. Like there's a variety of things. So I think it's sort of a positive thinking to the detriment to overly believe that, oh, something will happen. Yeah, it's sort of like manifesting and stuff. I think that stuff is detrimental to you because you have to be a realist too. Yes, have hopes and dreams, but also don't get outside of reality. And don't waste your time, because I did this YouTube boot camp thing, which I really wish I hadn't done because I wasted a bunch of money on it because it was kind of pointless. But some of those people in that program had been on YouTube for years and hadn't gotten any traction. And so I think at that point, basically YouTube is telling you, or the audience is telling you, you're either your idea is bad, you are bad on camera, or you're just in totally oversaturated market and you just are not able to get through that. So yeah, you might slog through for 15 years and maybe, just maybe, eke out a little bit of a living, or you can drop it completely, stop wasting your time and money, and go and do something where you can be more successful. I think that's a 2-lane street there. Don't just tell people, well, it won't happen yet. It's not happening yet. What if it never happens? And what if you waste a bunch of time and money and energy and effort on something that's never going to happen when you can move on and be more successful doing something else?
Yes.
I haven't found my soulmate yet.
Yes.
What if you don't find it though? This is just, and the idea of soulmates is a little bit ridiculous too.
Is yet.
The power of yet.
The power of yet.
Mhm.
I get so many questions about self-worth. Like, when am I going to finally feel worthy? And it's like, yet. Yet.
That's sort of a terrible answer because you want to give people a more concrete thing. Oh, it's not going to happen yet, or it's going to happen at some point. But I think the actual more powerful thing is giving people tools to help them succeed rather than going, hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. You just keep on the track. It'll be fine. What if it's not fine?
When you talk about self-esteem and all the things that we try so hard to pour into our kids, and you look at the data right now, 80% of women don't believe they're enough. Like,
Oh.
you look at all of the data
Yeah.
or feel unworthy, and it's such.
I think that's more of a long-term female issue, and it's always going to be there. I think there's a decent amount of women who are insecure, and that maybe is something that won't go away. And what is the insecurity? Is it body image, which we all struggle with? it's feeling inadequate or like a variety of things. So it's like positive thinking though is not really going to change that.
A journey. I've gone through such a journey in my own life of like,
Mhm.
for the longest time, I thought, oh, I just have to accomplish it, like, more. I have to do more and win this and do that and
Right.
do the thing. Then I'll feel enough. For you in your life, have you ever felt unworthy?
Oh my gosh, of course. Yes.
Yeah, because Megan is massively insecure and still massively insecure.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where the yet comes in,
But yet,
right?
and what about now? Like in your life now, do you ever feel unworthy?
Probably a lot. Probably a lot, to be honest. Because I think one of Megan's massive sort of insecurity things is that she doesn't feel worthy enough compared to the Princess of Wales. She feels like she's probably frustrated that she's not as going to be queen. And so she'll always feel inadequate. And the thing is, within a royal system, you will always feel inadequate if the idea is, well, I can't be anything unless I can be the queen.
Not unworthy. Sometimes I feel very self-conscious. I don't know. I think I'm at a very different chapter. We've talked about this when you're out of the prove it game.
Yes.
The
Will you
prove it
share
game.
more?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know. What were we texting about one night? You texted me something and I said, no, there comes a point where I don't even have that text. And you said, you have to email that text to yourself. You have to remember that. That should go in a book one day.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
But this idea that we spend so much of our life trying to prove something, to prove that you're enough, you have to prove that you're pretty enough, you have to prove that you're smart enough, you prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. And I was like, I am just so done with the prove it game.
She tries to prove herself all the time. That's like all she does. That's why she's constantly in the media. She's trying to prove that she's, I think, better than the rest of the royals. She's constantly trying to do that.
When you get to the place where you feel I don't have to prove anything to you anymore. I don't have to prove that I'm a good person. I don't have to prove to you that I'm a good wife or mom or friend.
Because we know she's not. Unfortunately for Megan, we all know she's not a good friend. She's not a good family member. She's not good at those things. She's not good a boss. We know those.
I don't have to prove that I work hard.
We know you don't work hard, Megan. We see the results. We see the results.
And it can be really freeing when you stop playing the prove it game. You're proving nothing to anyone other than to yourself.
Mm.
And that takes a lot of time and that takes a lot of pain. And at least in my own experience.
And yeah, it hasn't gone super well for her. So,
but to just really go and not with an energy of like, I'm over it, I don't care. No, I care, but I don't have to prove it to you. And if you can't see it, I don't need to prove to you why that's your loss.
Megan is constantly trying to prove things. So, yeah.
Like, because I know that I'm a great friend and I know the kind of mom I am and I know the kind of human being I am. I know how I show up. And I love being able to be that person with
the massive amount of hubris to say those things, knowing what we know of her personal life, is insane. And we know she's not a great friend. We know it. We've seen her leave a trail of relationships in her wake in her climb to the top. We know she's not a great family member. Again, we've seen a trail of bodies in her wake when it comes to that. So, I'm sorry, Meghan Markle, but you saying that and you may be believing that doesn't mean anything because we've seen the disaster zone you've made of your life. And so we've seen the relationships you've sacrificed to get the relationships you have now. And we can see where your values lie. Your values lie in money, in prestige, in Hollywood. That's where your values are. Your values are not being a good friend and being a good wife, being a good mom. Your values are money. That's what I see reflected in her life is that money is more valuable than anything else.
the people that I love. So, worthiness, maybe part of worthiness comes when you stop having to feel like you're in the prove it game.
She's still trying to prove it.
Hallelujah. I am getting emotional right now because the number of girls and women who are going to watch this, who are going to just take those words, that when you text that to me one day, we're talking about something and you wrote all that about not being in the prove it game anymore. And
I'm not. I'm not influenced by Meghan Markle in the slightest. I'm not getting chills. I'm not seeing this as anything other than self-serving. So yeah, this means nothing to me.
I'm just like, this
will not change women's lives.
so profound and it's so simple.
It's not really that profound,
but so profound and so true. And I feel like when every one of us like actually just sees it from that perspective, like, I know I'm a good person. I know I'm a great friend. I know.
Okay, so from a Christian perspective, there's something to the effect of understanding and knowing that you are a sinful person and that you, in comparison to God, are worthless in a way. He makes you worthy, not you yourself. Us in our own power as human beings are deeply, deeply flawed. So there should always be a perspective almost in a way. You should never think of yourself, oh, I'm a good person. I'm a good this, I'm a good that. Because in the Lord's eyes, you're not. Because you can't live up to his standards. You can never live up to his standards. And That's part of the challenge of faith in the Christian walk, is knowing and understanding that. And so for them to go, oh, I know I'm this, I know I'm that, I know I'm a great person, I know I'm a great friend, and these things, I'm sure I can find situations with them and with myself, of course, as well, and with you too. Situations where we are not a good friend, where we're not a good family member, where we are not a good person, because we aren't good people. And that to us, let's say we're not a serial killer or something like that, but we've all stolen, we've all cheated, we all lied, we have all done things that make us unworthy of the worthiness of God. So, because of that, this type of thinking, I think, is actually detrimental. Don't sit there and think I'm a good person. Sit there and think I'm a sinner in need of Jesus, which obviously neither one of these women are Christian. I mean, Jamie claims that, but I just don't really believe it based on what she's saying, because you have to be able to understand that and know that. And I think the danger is, and this is something I've learned from history too, there is a case with men from, it was Hamburg in particular, were part of the Einsatzgruppen, which were basically the mobile death squads of the Nazis that went into Eastern Europe. And they did horrifically awful things. And I think there's a danger in you placating yourself by telling yourself, oh, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. Because what if you're led to do things? I think we are all capable of being the monster. And that's a hard thing for, I think, most people to accept. And I think there are some people who would not be dissuaded, but there were thousands, if not close to 1 million normal people who would never do the things they did, who got sucked into the propaganda machine in Germany. And in the 1930s and 40s, there were millions of people who got sucked into that. So we are all, I think, vulnerable to certain things. And we are all vulnerable to thinking that we are the good people and then being led into bad situations, or situations where we do things that maybe necessarily we would never do. So, like, I truly believe most of the people who were, let's say, operating concentration camps would have never done that, or ever thought they would have done that, I mean, even a couple of years, a couple of months before they did it. And then they got sucked into it. And then it became part of their lives, and just like in this terrible, horrible way. Because I think there's always a danger in believing that we are good when there's a whole lot of badness capable in all of us. And so I think I don't like this type of thought and thinking, because I think it makes you more vulnerable to being moved by something you shouldn't be moved by. That's just my thought and opinion. Take it for what you will. But I feel like I need to say that.
All the things.
And you
like,
know you did your best.
I did my best. I'm doing my best as a mom.
Yeah.
Getting out of the prove it game,
Yeah.
feels like joy, tastes like freedom.
Not in the prove it game, but what if you could do better? And you're just saying, well, I'm the best. Why do I have to improve myself? It's so prideful. It's so incredibly prideful. Not that you have to prove it to the world, but like, well, I'm good. I'm good at this. I'm good at being a mom. Well, what if you aren't? What if you could learn? What if you could get better?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful
Mhm.
and so powerful. And
It's really not. It's really not. It's hubris. It's two women with massive egos pumping up each other's own egos.
I'm thinking about every person listening or watching right now who's going to rewind that part of the show and watch it over and over and over, and let it take root, because it's
Please don't do that. This is not helpful advice. I genuinely tell you right now, this is not helpful advice. This will not help you. Yes, you don't want to let that totally consume you, but at the same time, you can't just sit there going, well, I'm good. I can do whatever I want. We can justify a lot of badness to ourselves. So these women, I'm sorry, they're giving you terrible advice.
it's a tool that you can lean on.
Mhm.
Because how much time, I think about my own life, how much time I've wasted in the prove it game. Like, I want to make everyone happy, or I want to make sure that they know, all the things. And
Yeah.
it's like that. Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Oh.
And that's
It's terrible. Terrible. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine being in a room with the two of them. That would just be awful.
it's going to matter so much to so many people.
I probably texted that to you while I was typing to my kids.
Probably. Can you please start an email account for me and
Sure.
daily, because you don't have enough going on
I will, though.
with all of your
Well, that she has time all to do all this makes me again question her claims that she's working so hard.
A really cute, clever name.
with all of your stuff.
Yeah.
I love so much what you and Gwyneth Paltrow did recently.
Oh, how funny.
Because out there, they love to pit women against each other, or
Yeah.
compete, or this or that.
Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna have to skip past this because I watched this last time and I just wanted to I just was like, please, dear Lord, make it end. Okay, here we go.
.com/resources or click the link in the show notes below. And now
So we had to do that just because, guys, I wasn't sure because I'm going so fast, it's kind of not hitting things right. So let's get back into it.
more of this incredible conversation together. I love
It's not an incredible conversation.
so much what you and Gwyneth Paltrow did recently.
Oh, how funny.
Because out there, they love to pit women against each other or
Yeah.
compete or this or that. And, we've all seen it. We've all had experience like that in our own life. And I know that you don't really see almost any of the press, but this thing had been
It was really dumb. I even suggested at the time Gwyneth Paltrow was not trolling Meghan Markle because Meghan Markle is not competition for her. She is a nothing to her. And so Gwyneth was like, yeah, sure, because I'm not competing with you.
going on.
Well, I
and
didn't
like,
see it. She texted me.
Oh, did
my
she?
gosh, she's like, she texted me and she said, "Oh my gosh, like I did this interview and I can't remember verbatim what she said, but she's like, I give up. I don't even know what to say anymore."
Well, and it's one of those things where I'm sure Gwyneth is annoyed more because she's like, I don't care about Meghan Markle. She doesn't care. She's like, I just want the questions to stop. Let me focus on my business. Stop asking me about flipping Meghan Markle. I do not care.
And I said, "Well, I didn't hear about it. Hadn't heard about it at all."
Again, I doubt that.
And then because not because people are hiding things from me, but maybe because it's not something that anyone felt needed to be on my radar.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of, I mean, I understand it to a bit, but I really do think they probably don't show her anything. I mean, I'm sure she doom scrolls quite a bit, but it sounds actually kind of bad to not know more than she does.
And I just texted her back. I was like, "I hear there's something about like pie." And then we ended up she was doing something on Instagram. So I ordered some pie on Instacart. We sat there and just ate some pie and laughed and caught up a little bit, and then I came back.
Because Gwyneth Paltrow was like, yeah, let's come and do this and then go home, Meghan Markle. I don't need you here.
I was so happy when I saw it.
Yeah, I think women were really fired up of like, "Yes, clap back, enough."
Yes. And
Yeah.
also it's because that's who you are.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what I mean? And
It's not always actually beneficial to clap back. It's not really. You sort of end up in an endless spiral. I think Gwyneth should have just ignored it, but I think I understand even more now where Gwyneth was coming from here. She was just like, let's just have one little thing where we look friendly. And so maybe, just maybe, people will stop talking about you and me and this stupid lifestyle brand you're starting because I'm sick of hearing about it. I want to focus on myself. I don't want to focus on this supposed feud with Meghan Markle when Gwyneth couldn't give two craps, I'm sure.
and I loved it. I loved it.
And also with a sense of humor,
Yeah.
because it really diffuses so much of it. There's only so many statements you can make or things you can say on the record or this didn't happen. Or it's just like, you guys, like
I mean, don't think it was like diffusing. I just think it was kind of dumb and silly, to be quite honest. But I understand Gwyneth was like, I want to just make this end. I want the comparisons to end. So let's end it.
kind of really defines the age we're living in right now. Where that, if you're saying that was like a week or however long that cycle was going on of this, like that would have kept going, I would imagine. They would find
I mean, the thing is, Meghan was starting a lifestyle brand which people thought could be competitive to Gwyneth Paltrow. That is the issue. So it was going to keep going as long as Meghan Markle still had her business. That was kind of going to be the thing.
some other iteration of this fake conflict.
Yeah.
Just like us fighting.
Yeah.
But there is something really disturbing about the need for people to pit, especially women, against each other. When
Well, you had a competitive business, you live in the same area, it was going to happen. The same thing sort of with your sister-in-law too. And the thing is, naturally, people are going to compare people. That's just what we do as human beings. It's not good, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
like, but you're my neighbor and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like
Because you have no relationship. You guys might have each other's phone numbers, but you clearly aren't texting. And I don't think, again, Gwyneth Paltrow cares at all about Meghan Markle.
I don't know. It's wild. So yeah, I was glad that we could just have some fun with it.
I love that you did it.
Yeah.
This is so fun because all the things people know about, we now get to like hear them in your words. So Harry has said publicly so much of what Meghan is and how
Okay, again, it's all about Harry talking about Meghan. So self-centered.
she is so similar to my mom.
She's not. She's really not. She's sort of like his mom in the worst way possible.
She has the same compassion.
She does not.
She has the same empathy.
No, really doesn't.
She has the same confidence.
No, she doesn't.
She has
Actually, I think Diana was wildly insecure.
this warmth about her.
She does not. I don't ever feel the warmth from Meghan. I feel the fakeness that Harry still feels the need, again, to tell us all how great Meghan is. But Meghan doesn't reciprocate.
How do you feel about
That's so
him sharing that?
it's beautiful. I wish I could have met her.
I'm feeling viscerally so happy.
And they would have never, Diana would have hated Meghan. Diana and Meghan would have gotten along like water and oil. They would have hated each other. I firmly believe that because they had their worst qualities in common.
because I feel like people I feel like they're really here with us in the rocking chair.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff about you. I had no idea. Like, and I think I know a lot.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
But just like the
No idea what. This is so dumb.
essence of a person. Even one of my friends, you know, Marcus, but Marcus will see certain things and he goes, "Oh, there's my friend,"
Yes.
and gets so excited when you can see me reflected in a way that's the me that you know.
Yeah.
Because you guys only know one side of Meghan. The rest of the world has experienced a wildly different side of Meghan Markle. And that's the problem. Her employees experience something different than the rest of the world. And so that has always been her problem. It's just not going away. And this is not helping. I'm sorry, this is not helping. She's doing too much. It's a little ridiculous. She looks ridiculous to me. She looks wildly insecure and fake and just an awful interview.
Yes.
And so what a gift that is. Thank
It's
you
just
for,
so,
yeah, letting me be.
thank you for letting me be.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid. No wonder nobody can see the real Meghan, at least win some of these friendships, because they're both fake. They're both fake as heck. And I hate this. I think Oprah Winfrey would have a problem anymore because I think people would see the fakeness of her. I don't think people would be as impressed as they were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
That's like the best thing a friend could ever say to me.
Oh, well, and you think even as I said it, I was going, wow, growing up, you would keep going, just let me be. But with a
Please, people, actually say something.
completely different intention and intonation, I'm like, thank you for letting me be.
Oh, gosh.
You made me cry. Good thing I have no
Please stop talking about crying.
makeup on.
You look so pretty.
Oh my gosh. I don't even, okay. So I'm
She obviously has fake nails on or fake eyelashes on. There's obviously something about the eyelashes. And I'm sorry, I believe both of them are wearing no makeup hang-up.
not like done a show with no makeup since my 1,000 QVC shows.
Do you think I have? What are you talking about?
You look exactly the same though.
Oh.
You look exactly the same.
Oh, again, two friends propping each other up because they don't talk about anything real. They don't talk about anything real. You see it here. It's a very shallow friendship.
So, okay, these are some of the hot questions that everyone wants to know.
Oh, okay.
Do you watch the royal shows on TV, like The Crown or Bridgerton or any of them?
I imagine she's gonna say Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridgerton's a great show.
So
That's a period piece also. And I love Shonda Rhimes shows. So yes.
So
She would want to be part of Shonda Rhimes, and it's also incredibly fake.
much talk about your name. And for me, I'm like, gosh, a lot of families, like when they have to pick up their kids from drop off or have medical records or
Royal families are different, honey. They're different, Jamie. Did you not know that? They're different.
yeah, I have a lot of friends that don't even still have that name, but they've kept that name because it's important for all the other reasons.
Continuity.
Megan Sussex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She hasn't used it though in weeks. She abandoned it and still wants to go by Megan Duchess of Sussex. So you're a liar.
Now I heard there are Sussex chickens, and I need to get a couple of Sussex chickens to add to
Because for actual Sussex, not because of you.
my flock. I'm so excited. Got my girls.
And so do you use Markle anymore?
No, not since I got married.
Not since you got married.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We call you Meghan Markle. Meghan. We will always call you Meghan Markle.
Good to know. This is what everyone wants to know.
Right.
Doesn't matter. That's what the press will call her. They still call Catherine Kate Middleton, so they will still always call Meghan Markle. Doesn't matter what she calls herself.
Okay.
She might have been able to do it differently, but she squandered that.
What's your morning routine look like?
Well, this morning was different because Archie has a cold. He's home from school, but I get up at 6:30 and gives me a minute to, I wish I could say I woke up and meditated. I don't do that. I have the monitors on so I can hear both the kids. They get up.
Does he need a monitor when he's almost 6? Really? Huh. Interesting.
7. So I give myself a little bit of time to either put on workout clothes, brush my teeth, get both of them up. I get them dressed, get them downstairs, make breakfast.
In their 16,000 square foot home, she has help. She has help 100%.
And then if I haven't done their lunchboxes the night before, then do that. I love doing lunchboxes. It makes
Because again, it's a shallow thing. It's a shallow thing. She wants it to look perfect. She wants to give them the best lunch boxes. Because she has these things where she tries to show her love in different ways, which I don't think without actually showing love.
me very happy. And writing a little note in their lunchboxes. Remember when you were doing your first lunchbox? I told you little tips there.
Yep.
And then
My mom always, not always, but every once in a while, she would put a little note on my napkin in my lunchbox. I always loved that. It was like a little paper towel, and she'd write something cute to me. It was very sweet. It was when I was in elementary school.
And by if I don't have meetings in the morning, then I try to do school drop off. So they're at 2 different schools. That's a big circuit. So from 6:30 in the morning on drop off mornings for me, I'm not home till 9. So and then after that, I'll just jump into meetings. And then on other days, then I'll wake up and get them all
I mean, I doubt it. Again, she probably has nannies to do a lot of this for her.
set. And then our amazing nanny who's been with us for 5 years, she'll
She finally acknowledges the nanny. You finally acknowledged the nanny exists, Meghan. Good for you. It's been 5 years, but good for you for finally acknowledging she exists.
Take them to school for us, and then yeah, we always try to. I know that's morning. That's the morning.
That's the
That gets you to 9 a.m.
You're a New York Times bestselling author.
She really wasn't. It was a horrible book. I actually do have it because I found it on clearance at TJ Maxx.
Would you
So are
ever?
you.
Thank you. Would you ever write another,
Twice.
Would you ever write another book?
Yes, maybe for sure. I think I love.
She's a terrible writer. In my opinion, she's a horrifically awful writer. So she overdoes her words, like everything, she overdoes it. And good writing is simple, concise, and clear. And the flowery stuff may work well for poems, but doesn't work for real writing.
Of right now working.
I mean, I think maybe J.R.R. Tolkien or maybe Louise May Alcott, like, the Pride and Prejudice authors, the Austen girls, like they could write, I think, in that way better. But I think we've lost a little bit of that flair for writing, and Meghan definitely doesn't have it. She's a terrible writer, in my opinion.
On everything in the space of hospitality and home and entertaining and food and those sort of tips and something like that, I think would be really fun. Of course, children's books are great. And then, I think people are often curious if I'm going to write a memoir, but I've got a lot more life to live before I'm there.
Oh, and she's got to wait until it's worthwhile. So a divorce, that would be when it would be worthwhile to publish.
Would you ever run for office?
No,
Never.
no,
Never.
She would be horrible in a public office.
never. Oh God. I mean, you could say never. No, I'm not interested in that. No.
Can you give us one hint on something exciting coming up for As Ever?
Oh gosh, maybe she'll actually get copyright. Maybe she'll get graphics right. Maybe she'll actually give a decent product. Maybe.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, there's so much in development. Let's say this. If it started with what I was just making on my stove and it starts in your kitchen as these sweet offerings, actually sweet, and
It wasn't sweet, Megan. It was tart and awful and very artificial tasting. Your spread, just telling you. And your peppermint tea was one of the worst things I've ever tasted.
then the extension of what do you pair that with? For me, as we've talked about a lot today, what are these small gestures? What are these thoughtful details? What are these ways that you can show up for someone? Hostess gifts and hospitality is a big category that I'm really excited that we're developing.
She seems like a terrible hostess to me, so we'll see how that goes.
So yeah, lots to come. And more, of course, jam drops.
Jam it's not jam, it's spread. She doesn't even know her flipping products. This is so obnoxious. Meghan, you made spread. Terrible spread, by the way. Like, stop calling it jam. You don't even know your own products.
Jam
Think of
drops.
it like sneaker drops, just one flavor away.
Jam drops. I've had
Oh gosh, it's terrible.
your jam in my refrigerator all year. No one knows. No one's seen it. I have not posted
I
it.
have so much.
And
Because it's maybe bad and she doesn't want to.
Just like all of it. Anything you drop is so good. I'm going to speak on behalf of other
It's
girls,
terrible. It's terrible.
women, men, etc., who are like me, who try to make a charcuterie board or do something, and you're like looking at it, and you're like,
Just Google it, for Pete's sakes. This is not hard.
what I love is you're doing the work for us.
No, she's not. How is she doing the work for them? I don't get it.
You're doing the work for us.
Okay, congrats. You've done a charcuterie board.
With As Ever.
It's like open heart surgery, charcuterie boards.
With As Ever.
Mm.
You're with As Ever and with your show, but with your products. And I'm telling you, when I built It Cosmetics, that was one thing I was really good at. Like, because I don't like to do makeup. Like, you see my rosacea, nothing ever worked. I knew if it worked for me, it's
Yeah.
going to do the work for someone who does not want to learn how to do makeup.
The Megan's Megan, unfortunately, she's so disconnected from real people. Like, her advice is sort of worthless, and she hardly gave good advice.
One of the things I love most about As Ever, my daughter, who's 6, just make cookies with flour sprinkles.
Yeah.
Like, we look like we know what we're doing.
You do.
I mean, we could open a bakery.
Oh, that's terrible. Like, who gives two craps about flour sprinkles? They tasted awful, by the way. I have some. They tasted bad.
Good.
And it's because you're doing the work for customers in your products.
Oh.
That is
No, she's not.
huge.
That's
That to me is like a 1 in a billion
Well,
key to success.
yeah, I appreciate you saying that. It doesn't need to feel complicated.
Yeah.
But everything Megan does is complicated. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And that's the piece that I
Yeah.
really want to get across is what can you do in your everyday that I don't want to just buy the thing. I do want to have my hands in it.
Yeah.
And that's part of this. When I was doing the kids' birthday parties, I would say,
When she made the most ostentatiously ridiculous birthday party setup ever, like I've ever seen, no parent could do that. It was so unrealistic. Like, because all of us have a gazebo in our backyard filled with balloons and every kind of fancy tea set imaginable.
I remember someone's like, are you going to get a planner, a party planner for a 2-year-old's birthday? I don't know. Okay, you could go buy all the stuff. I don't want to buy the stuff, but I also don't have time to make all the stuff. So where's the hybrid? Where's the
Yeah.
piece that as a mom or as a
She was terrible at that. Like, she didn't teach any of that. This is dumb.
Friend or as a spouse, you can have your hands in the creation of the joy.
Yes.
Not just the purchase of the joy, but the creation of it. And it's
Yes.
not a heavy lift, that it's
Yes.
enough that you can go like,
How? She has a nanny. She is admitted to finally. She has assistants. Like, she is not connected to real flipping people. She has no clue what an average person goes through in a day.
did this for you.
Yes. The cookies, add butter. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got this.
Just add butter.
You also need an electric mixer. So if you don't have that, and you can also go to the store and buy the same thing for cheap.
I've got this.
Yeah.
I want to read this quote in closing. It's a very famous quote, and I want to read it, and I'm going to try not to get emotional because as your
Oh gosh, this is so bad.
friend, as another woman, as a person who's had the gift of seeing glimpses inside of what you carry and deal with every day, like, I'm so freaking proud of you.
Again, that's what Megan I didn't mean to, that's what Megan says. Of course, Megan, again, wants people to lift her up that way. That's Megan uplifting Megan.
And I just hope, I don't know, I'm emotional. I hope every girl and woman who's going to listen to this and watch this, who maybe is tempted to sit on the outside and think they don't have what it takes or they can't face the battle that might come with them putting their
She's not a real person. Like, this is not what real people experience. This is like, oh gosh, this is so
idea out there or their heart out there or their friendship out there and say,
they also don't have millions of dollars in the bank so that if they flop, they still have something to fall back on. Megan has no connection to real women. I'm sorry. She doesn't. She doesn't. To say otherwise is a joke. It's an absolute joke.
do you want to be friends? Or their book out there or their story or who they are on.
Well, maybe it's not good. Like, you have to deal in reality, which is that, yes, put yourself out there, try it. But if it doesn't work, maybe that's not your gift. Don't waste your time and energy on something that doesn't work for you. Megan is wasting her time, I think, in Hollywood. She's merely being propped up because she's a wife of a prince, and that's it. If any normal business person was part of this, they would have dropped her long ago for sucking so badly at all of this. I just feel like they give women a false sense of, oh, if you just think about it, if you just manifest it, all your dreams will come true. That's not reality. It's not helpful to other women to tell them that. They may waste out on time with a family, time with friends, because they're trying to do something that was never going to happen.
Social media, they're scared of everything that comes with it. And so,
yeah, you should be. It's awful because people are awful. Again, sin, fallen world thing all applies here.
Brene Brown wrote this beautiful book called Daring Greatly. There's this really beautiful quote by Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, inside
right?
in the arena.
Man in the arena. And I want to read this with a slightly paraphrase version because
for Pete's sakes, get to the point.
One of the things amongst many that I love so much about you is you're in the freaking arena. You are. You're in the arena. And so many girls and women, I have women in my family, multiple generations
she's not in the arena though. She doesn't listen to any of the press. And so she's in the arena because she desperately needs the attention. Megan could walk away from all of this and lead a perfectly normal, good life, but she desperately needs the attention, the accolades. That's why she's doing this.
Sit back and they're like, gosh, I wish I would have. I wish I could have.
Yeah.
I wish I.
They also don't have millions of dollars to fall back on. Again, don't forget that part of this.
Put my idea out there. I wish I told that person I forgive them, or I wish I went for it, And so,
so she's actually crying. Jamie is actually crying. Megan has yet to cry this entire time.
If you're
Just
watching
putting that out
Jeopardy,
there.
even if you don't know if the answer's right, still shout out what you think the answer
shout
could
out
be.
what you think it
and it's okay
is.
if it's not right.
Yes.
Gosh, these women give terrible advice. Golly, they are terrible.
Raise your hand. And I remember for me, it was 6, the first time I knew the answer and I didn't raise my hand in class. And so many of us have moments like that. And then now.
Why? Like, why are they so obsessed with this? I don't understand. You were insecure and didn't want to have the wrong answer. That's fine. That's fine. Move on. I don't know. I guess, am I more normal or something? I don't know. But I've never dealt with this crippling insecurity. In fact, I raised my hand at our small group the other night because we were going through Nahum and they were talking about lions. I remember the Lamassu, which is which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, which is like the ancient Assyrian statues that are part man, have a face of a man, have the body of a lion or a bull, and have the wings of an eagle. And I was thinking to myself, because I was talking about lions and the lion sense and stuff like that. I was like, wait, those statues exist. Those statues are everywhere. And then I started doing a deep dive later. But I raised my hand and mentioned that because I'm like, yeah, this is like a cool thing that could connect. Like the scripture was actually referencing something within the culture of Assyria that they would know. And so, like, don't be afraid to be intelligent. Don't be afraid of that. Don't like lord it over people. I asked because I was like, most of the people I go to small group with are seminarians. So I'm like, well, maybe you guys know. They didn't know because I'm the nerd who reads that stuff. But that's okay. Be confident in yourself, not to the point of arrogance, but don't be afraid of who you are. And, but not in this kind of hokey way. Think of other people too. Think of who you are, but know who you are. I think within the sphere of knowing who God is, I think that's actually a better way than going, I need to uplift myself, because then you get into the level of these women, which is hubris.
We're grown-ups and
I'm probably prideful too. Let's be honest. Totally admit that.
we're on Zoom and we have an idea, but we don't share it just in case. And you are a living, breathing example of going for it. You're putting yourself out there. And
Again, she has a huge nest egg, and she's not going out there and doing this because of, like, she's not risking everything. Meghan is just like doing the bare basics.
anybody living or breathing right now who puts any part of themselves out there, it doesn't matter what it is. It comes with critics. It comes with opposition. It comes with failure. I think about the
You have to be able to deal with that. Meghan can't deal with the critics. She can't deal with it.
number of times I failed in growing at cosmetics, or the no's that I got, or
Yeah.
the times where it would have been so much easier to give up. Millions of times. It would have been so much easier to give up. And
Oh gosh, this is so ridiculous. Get to the quote, please.
you are in the arena. So I want to close on this because I just know there's somebody
Okay, you've told us this. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
listening to you and me right now, watching us right now, who needs this in their life.
We don't need whatever quote you got in your life.
And we've never talked about this quote. I love this quote. When you said, I was like,
About it.
the arena.
We never talked about it. And when I was literally praying before this interview today, and this is what kept coming to me.
Oh gosh, this is the worst interview. Meghan does the worst interviews, I swear.
And I think that all of us together collectively in our own lives can almost like lean into this quote. So this is by Theodore Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong woman stumbles. I'm going to paraphrase here.
It's not the critic who counts, but don't dismiss the critics either.
Or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs.
Meghan's not in the arena. She's not in the arena. I mean, you could say that in order to try to make money, she is, but she's not in the arena to actually help other people.
Who comes up short again and again because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions.
Doesn't have a great devotion except to herself. So I just don't feel very moved by this.
Who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
Meghan fails all the time and yet just doesn't acknowledge it and jumps from thing to thing. Meghan has no overarching vision of her life, and you feel it. You feel it. She just is jumping to whatever can make her money.
That is you, my friend. I love you. Thank you for trusting me with your first ever podcast and with
She has her own podcast, for Pete's sakes.
your friendship.
Yeah.
And with,
She's not crying. She's just, there's no tears. There's no tears. There's no wateriness. I don't see any wateriness.
yeah, I love you. I have something for you.
Oh gosh.
You're the one always giving gifts.
She doesn't have any tears.
Why am I so emotional?
I don't know. Why am I so emotional?
She's not emotional. Like, you're not crying. You're fake crying.
But we do kind of always get emotional in the rocking chairs.
It's true. Because we're in
It's the
rocking
energy.
chairs. It's the energy of
Oh my gosh, fake crying.
the rocking chair friend. Remember, this episode's not just for you and me. Please,
It's the
rocking
energy.
chair.
Please. Okay, I'm not going to listen to this. I've listened to her talk about herself now for a lot of bits. So I am done. Please, please, please just finish off this. Wait. So do we not get to see the gifts? Do we not get to see them?
Because you belong here. You are worthy. You are loved. You are loved. I love you. And I cannot wait to join
She
you.
doesn't love you. She does not love you. She doesn't know you. She can't love you. Like, okay, so I guess we technically don't see any of Meghan. That you had to put this on there tells you a lot. Okay, guys, so we are officially done with this torture session. That was awful. That was all sorts of awful. I don't feel like we learned anything except for how fake Meghan is and how she attempts to look like she's crying without any tears in her eyes. It's a wonderful trick. So I just have to look at all of this. So, and Meghan is just somebody who is shallow, vain, and vapid. And she attracts shallow, vain, and vapid people. I'm sorry, she does. So if you're a fan of Jamie, hey, like no shade your way or anything like that. But I just found this to be incredibly shallow, incredibly devoid of any tough questions, any tough interactions. Like it's all just a fluffy nonsense, syrupy. Oh, how wonderful we are. How wonderful Meghan is. She's so wonderful, wonderful. I'm sick of hearing that. I don't care. I don't care. Have a real question, have a real answer, because part of Megan's problem is at this point is that people see through this. And I think the more we are aware of social media and the manipulation, and everything, the more people are seeing through something like this. So to me, that whole thing seems just absolutely hollow, devoid of anything any other woman could get a benefit from. It's all to serve these two incredibly wealthy and privileged women. And I don't think anybody is finding this particularly good. I would give this a massive, massive thumbs down, which I did. Let's check out what the ratio is right now for this. It is 5,600 downvotes to 3,600 upvotes. So this is honestly the most horrifically awful thing I've ever watched. I would not be able to ever give this a recommend. Don't torture yourself. Listen to whale noises or something that is more beneficial than listening to that slop. So guys, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my slop, because some of my stuff is probably not any better, but maybe I hope you enjoyed it. Give a like and a follow if you did. And I shall talk to you again very, very soon. The whales are going to show up here very, very soon in the Isle of Mull. So we have that to look forward to on the 29th and 30th. It should air on the 29th. So we have that to look forward to, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again soon. Bye.